Have you ever started outlining your novel only to get bored or even overwhelmed halfway through? Or maybe you've spent weeks world building and planning every little detail only to lose complete interest before actually writing chapter 1. Let me know in the comments if you can relate. If you have ADHD, traditional outlining methods can feel like creativity killers. But here's the thing. Outlining doesn't have to be boring, overwhelming, or even rigid. By the end of this video, you will have an idea of an outlining method that works for your brain. One that keeps you engaged rather than drained. Let's dive in. Most outlining advice sounds good in theory, but if you have ADHD, it just might not work for you. Here's why. It's too structured. If an outline feels too rigid, it can suck the fun out of discovering your story. It can cause over-planning paralysis. Most of us love world building and brainstorming a new idea, but sometimes we can get so lost in planning that we don't actually start writing. And losing interest. Our brains crave novelty. So by the time we finish a detailed outline, we've already moved on to that shiny new idea. So how do we outline without killing our excitement? Simple. We ditch the rigid rules and use ADHD-friendly outlining methods instead. Here are 3 ADHD-friendly outlining methods that you can give a try. 1, the plot grid method. This is best for visual thinkers. If seeing everything at a glance helps your brain, try a plot grid instead of a linear outline. Think of it like a storyboard for your novel, a table where you break down scenes by characters, conflicts, and themes. This lets you see the big picture while also remaining flexible. Here's an example of what that can look like. And if you would be interested in a blank copy to try this out for yourself, there is a link in the description that you can click on to get a download. I'll also include the sample as well, which does have spoilers from Cinder by Marissa Meyer, which is one of my favorites. It's also great for when you edit your novel to be able to keep track of dates, subplots, and locations, and that sort of thing. If you want a video about using a plot grid method, let me know, because I am planning on using this when I edit the Untamed World sequel. Our next outlining method, so number 2, is scene islands or index card outlining. And this is best for writers who hate linear outlines. What if I told you that you don't have to write your outline in order? If it seems overwhelming to sit down and try to plot out your story from chapter 1 all the way to the end, this method might be for you. You can write down random scenes that pop in your mind or that you're really excited about. And if you write them on your index cards or sticky note papers, it'll be easier to be able to move them around to fit where you want them to be in your story. And number 3, our last one for this video, reverse outlining. And this works best for people who hate planning. So if you are a pantser and you don't want to sit down and write an outline, this can work for you. So if you're a discovery writer, try reverse outlining. This is where you write your book first, then you outline afterwards. This can help to discover any plot holes or discrepancies in your book. Doing it this way, you don't kill your momentum before you even start, and you still get a roadmap to follow later. Of course, there are a number of different ways that you can outline novels. There's the 3-act structure, the hero's journey, Save the Cat Writes a Novel, which actually I took that book out before from the library. It was the one with the young adult. It was interesting to read, but I found it a little bit overwhelming when I actually sat down to try to outline using it. But who knows, it might work for you. So with that, you could check out your library and see if they have a copy of that, and you can read it and see what you think. Now that you have an idea of an outline that you can use, here's how to keep your brain engaged while outlining so that you don't lose interest. Make it sensory. Listen to music. You can make a special playlist specifically for that novel that you're outlining. Use color-coded sticky notes or outlined by hand if typing feels stale. And personally, I love writing by hand. Keep it messy. Your outline does not have to be perfect. Think of it as a living thing that changes as you go along. Gamify it. Reward yourself for progress. If writing an outline feels impossible for you, record yourself instead and explain your story. Or you could talk it out with a friend. Outlining with ADHD does not have to be a struggle. You just need to find the method that works right for your brain. Whether you use a plot grid, index cards, or reverse outlining, the key is keeping it flexible, fun, and fast-moving, so you don't lose interest in it before you even start writing. Which method sounds best for you? Let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to hear. I'll see you in the next video.